Welcome to another episode of Healthy Living. My name's Cole, I'm your host. And tonight we're going to be looking at fried rice. Now, I don't know about you, but whenever I had fried rice at restaurants, it can be kind of a mixed experience. Some are great and some are not so great. And obviously, in most cases, fried rice has meat in it. And being a vegetarian and looking at vegetarian alternatives, I'm not going to be outdone by meat-based fried rice. So I'm going to add to my fried rice a couple of products that I've gotten from Morningstar, one of which is soy bacon, which provides that same texture and feel, and another one is the Morningstar barbecue riblets. Now both of these are soy-based products. They're high in fiber, high in protein, but if you do have some dietary requirements, check the ingredients on the back. If you're a vegan, for example, they do have eggs in them, so it may turn you off a little bit. If you have dietary issues in terms of gluten, these guys do have wheat in them, so that's one of the things you might need to consider as well. Now, irrespective of your dietary requirements, inevitably, no fried rice is complete without tofu. And tofu will go with anything and will work for most people. So this is a good alternative as well. I'm going to mix all three in our fried rice. And it's flavorsome, it's tasty, it's brown rice, it's all of the great things that nature has to offer that's good for you. Let's have a look at how it turns out. Fried rice. Now fried rice is one of those tricky little, or one of those tricky dishes where you kind of need to have a lot of different ingredients to make it interesting. So I've got some vegetables here, carrot, celery, cabbage, and capsicum all ground up by the food processor, some garlic, some shredded onion, some whole vegetables, cabbage, carrot, and celery, and shallots, some cauliflower, some eggplant, my whole grain rice, tofu, and that's obviously, tofu you get in a pack like this, spinach. I'm going to use Morningstar barbecue riblets and Morningstar's soy bacon. Now these guys are vegetable protein, so they're made out of soy. If you are a little bit gluten intolerant, check the back, right, to see whether you're going to add it or not. Egg. And obviously here I've opened up my my barbecue riblets and my bacon and chopped it up and prepared it. Now one of the things about the barbecue riblets is they are covered with barbecue sauce. So I kind of want to avoid that a little bit. So we're going to kind of take care of that as we're cooking our fried rice. You do need to have more than one fried pan. I'm going to use this working fried pan. I know it looks a bit scungy, but it is clean. To do the eggs and a few other things, and then I'm going to be working with a larger pan where I actually will be dealing with the rice. But there's a few things you do need to pre-cook before you move on to making fried rice appropriately. So let's get started. I have the tofu frying in the fry pan with a little bit of oil. I want it to harden up a little bit because obviously when I'm trying to cook the fried rice, I'm going to be stirring it a lot, and tofu, you'll notice here that it breaks apart pretty easy, right? So you can see here I can just, with my spatula, right, I can just push down and break it apart. So I want it to be a little bit browned and firmer as a result of cooking. And of course, one of the tricky things with tofu is it does have a lot of moisture in it. So I guess you could probably let it soak on a towel to get some of the moisture out. In this case, I'm going to cook it, pour the moisture off, add a little bit more oil, and then keep cooking it. I've already done my whisked eggs, and you'll see here with my whisked eggs, I've just basically put them in the fry pan, chop them up into smaller pieces, so that when I add it to the rice, it's going to be distinct and not blend in and sticky and stuff like that. So let's have a look at the tofu when it's done. I poured the excess water off of the tofu and added a little bit of oil. And you can see here that now it's starting to brown a little bit, which is ideally where I want it to be. And you'll see too, because I've cut it into smaller chunks, I am getting breakage, but I am still keeping substance for most of it. And this is about ready now to be taken out because So I finished cooking the barbecue riblets, right? And you'll see most of the barbecue sauce is now off of them, so they'll have a taste of barbecue, but it's not going to be an overpowering taste within the fried rice. It's just going to be these pieces are going to have that barbecue taste. You'll see here I also cooked the bacon a little bit, and you'll see that that's nice and crisp now too. My tofu is nice and brown and light, and it's going to hold together now as I mix it in with the rice too. And we're ready to actually start cooking. Make sure that you let the oil heat up appropriately. I've added in the vegetables to the fry pan. I haven't gotten to the rice yet. One of the things that you do want to be conscious of is that vegetables tend to leach moisture. And when you're making fried rice, you want it to be light and fluffy as much as possible. I mean, obviously I'm using whole grain rice, so that's a little bit different in itself than a traditional white rice. But it does mean then what I want to do is I want to get rid of the moisture here in the vegetable cook first. And I've added also to this, as it's cooking through, 2 packets of Goya salad and vegetable seasoning. Just add a little bit more flavor to the overall base. So you see what I've done is I've separated my ingredients in the fry pan. So you see here I pulled the vegetables to the side, and I've added the rice here and with a little bit of oil. And I've been breaking it down, cooking off any excess moisture and things like that, because it is pre-cooked via my rice cooker. So, and you can see it's a little bit gluggy, but it'll come good as we start to work through. At this stage then, I'm about ready to work my vegetables in. And you'll see here, as I'm doing it, right, I want to make sure that I get a nice even spread and keep it fluffy. So you'll see there. It's been about 10-15 minutes, well actually 10 minutes, and I've been breaking it down and stirring it. And you'll see I'm starting to get a little bit more separation. Still a little bit more gluggy than I would have liked, but I haven't actually made a lot of fried rice with brown rice, so I'm assuming that that might also be a factor. And it might have been that I haven't kept my vegetables dry enough before I started, but that's okay. It's not over yet. So we're going to add a little bit of soy now and work that through, and then work our other ingredients in our tofu, which I'm sure will help with the separation, and our egg. And then on our last run, we'll add in the soy bacon and soy barbecue rib, just to give it a little bit more of a meat-like enhancement. And each of these guys will add to the separation of the rice as well. So let's have a look at what it comes out like in a few minutes. Well, here we are at the end of the cook, and you can see here I've added all the ingredients. I've added in my tofu. You can see that there. So there's my tofu. I've added in my bacon bits, which are obviously soy. I've added in my barbecue meat pieces there. You can see that. It's probably not too obvious because it's been cooking for a little bit. And what I did to take some of the moisture off of it is I added in some angel hair. I just broke it up and shaped it over the top and mixed it in. And that's soft now, and it's soaked up a lot of the excess moisture. So it's not glue. It's not as light and fluffy as I would have liked, but I can live with it. And it's very, very tasty. Let's have a look at what it looks like served. So served up in my bowl, you can see here I have the bacon pieces there. I have some of the barbecue meat, which is, you know, all soy obviously, but it's a meat substitute. And for a meat eater who's not used to vegetarian cooking, this is not a bad introduction, right? Because it has all of the proteins that they're used to having.
This is easily a meal that will serve a family of 4. I hope you enjoy it. Healthy living.